what, you would think that Beach will always run, and they do. Nobody outruns Beach.
Classic basketball as well, and grade school and little kids program coming all the way up to the high school. They play that system very well.
Oh, it's a hotbed of basketball. They love their basketball. They come out in droves for every high school ball game. They travel in droves. Mount Vernon loves basketball. They're here in a force. You're going to hear them tonight, and they do have a great group of kids, and they're very talented.
As we mentioned, they are undefeated this season. Let's take a look at how Mount Vernon made it to the state championship game tonight. The Bulldogs opening against O'Day. 28-point performance there. They defeated Seattle Prep. They avenged their loss to Seattle Prep in last year's championship game, and then defeated Mercer Island in the semifinals. Those are three pretty good programs that they knocked off on their way to the final.
Well, what tops it all off, if they beat Beach tonight, they beat the four former champions coming into this. That would really kind of make their season. But they've had the toughest road in this tournament so far. They played the best side of the bracket.
Now, Rainier Beach, as Bill mentioned, a very athletic team. They can put points up on the board in a hurry, and they are a very, very good squad, very dangerous team that you don't want to get in that sort of running game with, do you?
Oh, yeah, this team's only going to get better. They're young, but I'll tell you what, they can run. They've scored over 90 points, 3 times over 100 a couple times. They beat Jefferson of Portland. They beat Garfield. Jefferson was ranked in the top 10 in the country, and they went down there and beat them. So these kids, even though they're young, they're very, very good.
And we take a look now at the road to the championship game for the Vikings of Rainier Beach. And again, the road to the championship brought to you by Les Schwab and your local Les Schwab dealers. In this year's tournament, they open up with the win over River Ridge. They defeat West Valley of Yakima, preventing the Rams from having a chance of pulling off that girls and boys double. And then last night in the semifinals, as you see, an easy win over Stanwood. So really, both these teams have not been challenged a lot from a numbers standpoint in the tournament so far.
No, not really. I think it's been, like I said, a lot tougher for Mount Vernon. Really, Rainier Beach looks like they kind of toy with their opponents, and then they throw a couple of 15-2 spurts on teams, and it's all over with. That's what Mount Vernon's going to have to do tonight, is keep those turnovers down and control those spurts.
Let's take a little insight real quick then. You talked about those turnovers and spurts, but go inside the minds of these two coaches a little bit. What is their biggest fear? Just pick out one thing that most concerns them going into this championship game, would you say?
I would say Mike Bethea's problem with Rainier Beach, they're not a big team. He's got to be afraid of Amaya and Shea up front. Both of them are shooting the ball very well. Both of them 6'7", can score inside or out. He's going to have to limit their touches, and if he does, they're got a great chance to win tonight. On the other side, Max Frazier's got to worry about pressure. Riesman and DeVries have got to control the offense, keep the turnovers down, because Beach can turn up the heat. They've got really super quickness in the backcourt. If they can initiate their offense without turnovers, Mount Vernon's going to win.
Boy, I can really identify with Mike Bethea when he talks about having that height matchup problem. I know that one all too well whenever I get a chance to work with Bill Kruger. But we are looking forward to this boys championship game on the 3A level. The Mount Vernon Bulldogs taking on the Rainier Beach Vikings. Both teams are out on the floor. We are just a few minutes away from the start of this championship game from the Tacoma Dome, and we'll have all the action for you coming up on Fox Sports Net.
Why drive dealership to dealership, wasting time when more than 30 of the area's finest dealerships have combined to display over 2,650 vehicles this weekend? It's the Garage Sale. The largest automotive sales event in America returns to these three huge locations. Cheney Stadium, Tacoma, Everett Mall, Everett, Super Mall of the Great Northwest in Auburn. Virtually every year, make and model. On-the-spot credit approval. All trades welcome. And over 2,650 vehicles, all disposal sale price. Save time and money this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the Garage Sale. Nothing else even comes close.
We know sweat on hardwood, blood on ice, flesh on diamond, rains and ice. We know hearts beat stronger, hope harder. For victory, our souls we barter. We know karmic waves of pride and glory, and when pain is the only story, we know the tears you're concealing. We know the feeling.
Found its way to the Tacoma Dome as we get set for the WIAA 3A boys' turn in a 1-versus-2 showdown. Undefeated Mount Vernon takes on Rainier Beach for the boys' 3A championship. And welcome back once again, everybody, to the Tacoma Dome. Boy, the fans were lined up deep waiting to get into the choice seats for this one. We welcome you back. Todd Pickett along with Bill Kruger, Mount Vernon and Rainier Beach. And this one is just going to be full of excitement. You know it from the get-go.
I think it's going to be some up-and-down basketball. We could have a high-scoring game tonight. It's going to be very athletic for sure.
Now, Mount Vernon, as we said, undefeated. They were in the championship game a year ago and came up short. They have taken on all sorts of former state champions to get to this final game. They are a very, very solid team. And one guy who has really stepped it up for Mount Vernon in this year's tournament is Tyler Amaya.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think he's opened up the eyes of a lot of college scouts. This young guy, 6'7", shooting 76% for the tournament, has raised his average from 8.5 points per game to about 18.5. He's just been outstanding, and I'll tell you what, he can play above the rim with the Stewart twins.
Well, and that's exactly what he may have to do tonight, because as Bill touched on, for Rainier Beach, it is your 1-2 punch, and you never know which one might light it up on a certain given night. But the Stewart twins are one of the keys to success for this Rainier Beach team.
Roderick and Lodrick Stewart. The easy way to figure it out is L for Lodrick means lefty, R for Roderick means righty. Both of them can score. Roderick had 35 already in this tournament. Lodrick's had 23. They both can play way above the rim. They're a lot of fun to watch. They're two of the top sophomores in the country.
Hey, as long as Lodrick keeps the headband on all night, we'll be in really good shape. Both of them have big aspirations. They say they want to go pro beyond high school. Right now, they just have their eyes focused on a state championship trophy. But standing in their way is an undefeated team from Mount Vernon with a lot of tournament history as well. We'll have the boys' 3A game right after this.
Okay, who are you?
The milkman?
Do you have a sidekick?
No.
A nemesis?
A what?
A bad guy?
I'm a people person.
Have you been fighting crime
I
wrong?
don't fight crime.
What do you fight?
Osteoporosis. A never-ending supply of milk. And chocolate milk.
Want strong bones? Calcium may help prevent osteoporosis.
When we launched Verizon Wireless, we didn't just create affordable coast-to-coast calling plans with no roaming or long-distance charges. We created an entirely new kind of wireless communications company. Single rate, only from Verizon Wireless. Join in.
What's behind the success of the Z800?
Our first Z800 was introduced over 12 years ago, followed by the Plus, and today our newest Z800, the Ultra. With over 5 million sold and millions of miles on the road, our customers compliment us on its great handling, ride, and outstanding mileage. It's why we believe the Z800 Ultra is the best-built tire in the world today. Like Les says, try a set for 30 days. If you don't agree, return them. We'll give you your money back.
Z800 Ultra, built to last. Why drive dealership to dealership, wasting time when more than 30 of the area's finest dealerships have combined to display over 2,650 vehicles this weekend? It's the garage sale. The largest automotive sales event in America returns to these three huge locations: Cheney Stadium, Tacoma; Everett Mall, Everett; Super Mall of the Great Northwest in Auburn. Virtually every year, make and model. On-the-spot credit approval. All trades welcome. And over 2,650 vehicles, all disposal sale price. Save time and money this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the garage sale. Nothing else even comes close.
Baseball is back. Martinez and the Mariners. Gonzalez and the D-backs. Mariners baseball returns March 13th on Fox Sports Net.
Wrap up your race day with NASCAR Victory Lane. From the pole position to the winner's circle.
The last word on NASCAR each weekend.
A full recap of all the day's action. NASCAR Victory Lane, tomorrow at 9 on Fox Sports Net.
The WIAA Dairy Farmers of Washington Boys 3A State Basketball Championship are brought to you tonight by the Dairy Farmers of Washington, proud title sponsors of Washington State High School Athletics. Got milk? And we welcome you back to the Tacoma Dome. Starting lineup being introduced for the Rainier Beach Vikings and the Mount Vernon Bulldogs. We take a look
For the number 1 team in District 1, undefeated Mount Vernon coming in at 26-0. Scott Shea, Tyler Amaya, Chris Thompson, Troy DeVries, and Josh Reisman. Shea the leading scorer during the tournament outside of Amaya. And Amaya has nearly doubled his per-game average. Matt Frazier, the head coach for Mount Vernon. The 11th appearance in the state tournament. The 5th final for Mount Vernon, all of them since 1990. For the Rainier Beach Vikings, first in District 2, 26-3. Champions in 1998. Shepard, Roderick Stewart, Randy Green, and Kenny Williams. Mike Fassay, their head coach. 7th appearance for Rainier Beach. Their 3rd final. They are undefeated in championship play, winning state crowns in 1988 and 1998. It'll be the 6th trophy for Rainier Beach. The 8th trophy for Mount Vernon. Which team gets which trophy? We'll determine that down the road. Let's go right now to John Horton.
Thanks, Todd. We've heard a lot about Loderick and Roderick, but the senior leader of this Rainier Beach team is one Randy Green. Not only does he average 17 points per game, he has a 3.6 GPA of 1100 SAT. He's the vice president of the student body, the president of the senior class. And earlier this year, he was the chairman of a blood drive. How successful was it? The most successful in the state of Washington. A team leader on the court and off the court. We'll keep an eye on him tonight. Gentlemen.
Thank you, John. He played with an NBAer in 98. He would like to think he may be playing with some future NBAers. At least that's the way the Stewart twins want it.
Yeah, they're scary, being only sophomores at this point, and they play a lot older than that, that's for sure. And they've already put a couple of highlight reel dunks on some people, and I suspect that's going to happen again this evening.
Brian Strage, Don Tuggle are officials. Manny Fernandez, the alternate. The Bulldogs in their green with white trim. Rainier Beach in white with blue and orange trim. Outside jumper for Reisman. Following the finger roll for Tyler Amaya.
And that's where Mount Vernon can hurt this smaller Rainier Beach team, and that's on the boards and inside. And Amaya's been awesome all tournament long.
A lot of hollering defensively built off that Mount Vernon bench as they look at some matches here.
Right now, Vernon coming out in a little bit of zone, but they will match out of it. Trying to force Beach to shoot the ball from the outside. They're so athletic going to the hoop.
Roderick Stewart outside. The lob, the quick fall away there for Roderick.
That was no easy shot. Fall away with a little bit of arch on it. A very difficult shot, but Roderick can make it look easy.
Man-to-man pressure against DeVries. Will be counted on to protect that ball.
Beach has played zone and man-to-man, but they always come out man and see how that works first.
Reisman kicking it near side. Little mistake, but they save it by Shea. Batted away and stolen, and a late whistle as Roderick Stewart was breaking away. The foul on DeVries.
One thing Mount Vernon has to be aware of, and I'm sure Coach Matt Frazier talked about this before the game, when you get in traffic, you have to be strong with the basketball. These guys will strip you, and they are gone.
Matt Frazier's team winning its games this year by an average margin in the regular season at 24.5 points. Roderick's shot doesn't go, and a whistle on the board. A couple different guys were underneath. Roderick got the rebound. And that's the call. It's going to go against Roderick Stewart, his first.
Little push trying to get position, but boy, he got up for the basketball, didn't he?
Little press break. They're going to try to attack it. The handle lost by Reisman. He got it back and then lost it again. So even though you get the numbers, you've got to watch out for him.
Nice job of getting the ball to the center of the floor and then looking for the streaking wings. Good execution by Mount Vernon against the press.
Side inbound's never easy either, but Thompson there. And a whistle again off the ball. The call is going to go against Tyrone Shepard. And Mike Fassay wasn't quite sure about that call.
Real
blocking foul away from the basketball. We've had 2 off-the-ball fouls so far, 1 underneath the basket.
Oh, they made a mistake defensively there, and Mount Vernon misses the layup. Jay sailed in and couldn't get it, and another foul. Well, they've talked about tightening down, and they are certainly doing that in a hurry. Everything is being called. That one against Shea, his first.
And fouls could be a problem for Mount Vernon. They're not a deep basketball team, really, with Kendrick off the bench, the sophomore. That's about as deep as they go.
Well, Bill, that was a big opportunity there, and Shea was not able to take advantage of the defensive lapse.
Good read, just got a bad roll on the ball off the glass.
Randy Green will reset him, try to reposition everybody.
This is the thing that Beach does now. They will spread you out, make you play man.
Kenny Williams will go to the free throw line. No shot.
This little guy is very powerful. He plays a lot bigger than 5'8". He'll get his share of rebounds. He's not afraid to take it into traffic.
Bill, that call was on Shea. It's his second personal. Kenny Williams left alone and hits that one.
As we mentioned, he's not afraid to shoot the ball in traffic, and he's had a couple of big games in this tournament.
Bulldogs trying to get in the flow, and they're really out of sync right there, trying to push it. Big race down the floor, the whistle of foul on Riesman as he slapped Randy Green while Green was going to the basket. But down at this other end, Bill, they're just out of sync, trying to be athletic.
The one thing that Mount Vernon did well earlier in the tournament is counter against pressure, but boy, I'll tell you, when you turn the ball over, Beach is off to the races, and they can really take it all the way to the rack with authority. And it's not just the Stewart brothers, it's this young man here, Randy Green, an excellent basketball player.
Averaging 11 a game in the tournament, down from his season average of 17.
He's got 6 for 11 from three-point range. He's an excellent shooter.
There again, you talked about it. You got to protect every rebound as Amaya comes away with that one. Takes it down the floor himself.
They will double and trap you on the rebound and get a lot of steals that way. Mount Vernon must counter this pressure with some back cuts.
Got defenders in the air, but Thompson wasn't really looking for the shot. Riesman, he'll take the three, straight on and strong, and Green a nice board.
He's missed his first 2. All tournament games, Riesman came out and knocked down his first couple of shots. He's going to have to find the touch.
Kenny Williams holding it here.
As you can see, they're going to draw Mount Vernon out and make them play man-to-man. This is something that Rainier Beach has done a nice job of. They're so much more patient in the half-court than they've been in years past.
Yeah, Mike said this is probably his most disciplined team that listens to him the best of any he's had. Stewart, Lodrick, the left-hander, the follow.
Look at him get off the floor twice, so quick.
A great hang as well. Green's follow, bounces, and attack. Roderick getting that one. Score for Roderick Stewart. Back comes Mount Vernon, slapped away. Oh, late whistle as DeVries is cutting the hole.
Awfully clean there,
the Vikings were up, and their coach had to settle them down, tell them to cool it.
Again, here they are in the spread. Great move by Lodrick to get inside the D. Look at him get up 3 different times to tap that ball in. Mount Vernon is trying to jump with Rainier Beach. That's a huge mistake, as they will just kill him on the glass.
Great point, Bill. They're not getting a body on him at all.
No block out.
The foul was on Randy Green, his first. First look at a 3-4 stay, doesn't go. Lodrick behind the back. Numbers for the Beach. To the hole, Green. Batted away. Looked like Amaya got a piece of it. And Mount Vernon's bench up yelling. They thought there was contact at the other end on the board. Rainier Beach with the early margin on the board. Amaya with the finger roll for his 4th point.
Loves to spin. They need to get him the ball in a position where he can do something. He's shooting 76% for the tournament. He's just been
is that all? Open look this time, drained. Tyrone Shepard. Defense stepped off him, Trude.
Yeah, he's a threat now. You can't ignore Shepard. He's averaging about 13, 14 a game this year. The big thing that Mount Vernon has to do is get the ball inside to Shea and Amaya.
Riesman with the nice lead, and Shea leaves it short again. You just get a feeling he's pressing a little bit.
Just cold bunnies he's missed, and those have got to go down.
Sounds like a new group, the Cold Bunny.
Well, usually bunny's enough, but that was a cold bunny.
You're right about that. Strong to the hole, and the pull-up for Tyrone Shepard. Shepard, back-to-back buckets, and it's the 11-4 in favor of Rainier Beach.
Beach is just shooting so well in the half court right now. Really spreading the floor and taking advantage of their quickness.
We have a timeout on the floor, and Rainier Beach shooting 50% from the floor thus far. They have the early lead on Mount Vernon by 7.
Mobile music for your car and for your lifestyle. Commitment to excellence and business determination sets Rockford Fosgate and mobile music apart from the rest. A radical blend of human mind and high-tech robotics create the finest car audio in-dash CD players. Hot fours, high-power woofers giving low bass performance that sizzle. Mobile music, offering music the Rockford way with black and Grind amplifiers so powerful they blow the competition away. Mobile music for quality, value, selection. Mobile music. There's one near you.
Hey, I'm getting all strung out here, waiting for you to come in and rent me or buy me. Come on, I could go acoustic at any time. You go Helmer Music, the gathering place for all the best in music and audio.
Tickle my ivory. Play with me, rent me or buy me. Come on.
You go Helmer Music, the gathering place for all the best in music and audio.
The WIAA Dairy Farmers of Washington Boys 3A State Basketball Championships are brought to you tonight by Pacific Northwest Bank, proud to be the presenting sponsor of the Washington Interscholastic Activities Association. By Les Schwab, our business is earning your trust. By the garage sale, nothing else even comes close. And by today's manufactured homes, built for living, built for life. Midway through the first quarter, and the dog is on a short leash thus far.
Yeah, Vernon's got to do a better job in the half court of executing, and I don't think they've seen this kind of quickness so far this year in any of their ball games. Rainier Beach is very interested defensively, that's clear, and they're getting up on Vernon, giving them a lot of trouble.
I agree with you. They've got to start making some cuts and some plays to relieve that pressure through the hands of Amaya, and another turnover on Mount Vernon.
It's a good play. They had the inside look, just a bad pass.
Williams thought about it for a second. Doesn't get a second opportunity right now. Step back again for Shepard. Well, that first step really concerns the Bulldogs. Thompson the board.
And that's what Mount Vernon wants them to do. Take that outside shot so they can get to the glass and get down the court.
Riesman dribbling into trouble. You see Rainier Beach controlling the lane so far. Of course, that's all of Mount Vernon's points while they've come in the lane. So batted away, and Rainier Beach forcing it again.
Just lazy angle, but Beach doing a great job of defending the post so far.
Open look for Green. Lodrick Stewart touching it last. But again, as you said, there's Amaya going straight up, not blocking out.
Well, if they're an athletic team, Mount Vernon, they're used to being able to out-jump people. And this is a case where they're not going to be able to do that. They need to get a body on the Stewarts and the Shepards up front.
Mount Vernon turning it over 4 times thus far. They're going to call the hand check right there on Kenny Williams. And again, that point of emphasis. We got to keep in mind, too, Bill, that this is not a situation with which Mount Vernon is very familiar this season.
Yeah, they beat Lincoln bad earlier this year, but I don't think they've faced anybody that puts the kind of quickness at all points in the floor of the Rainier Beach.
And not only that, only one time this season has Mount Vernon not won a game by double digits in this undefeated run. Open look for Shea. Gets the 3.
Every time Amaya touches the basketball, something good happens. Either he makes a great delivery right there, or he scores. He's just been, I think, probably the outstanding player in the tournament so far.
Big difference, too, for Shea there, Bill. Straight up shot instead of trying to do it on a spin or a move.
He's a great outside shooter for a 6'7" kid. He can really, really knock it down.
Green looking near side. Lodrick Stewart checking over to the bench for a minute. A lot of hold, backdoor cut, batted away from Green. Thompson got a piece of it.
Bulldogs doing a nice job defensively, forcing Beach to get into standing and playing one-on-one.
Amaya trying to go strong, skips it for Thompson. His 3, nothing but net.
Great set shooter. He's had a couple of big ball games in the tournament. You cannot leave him alone standing. He can knock it down.
A little more poise there for the Bulldogs. Back-to-back 3s to cut it to 1. Roderick trying to get in the flow. Off the back. Riesman getting off the floor. Yeah, wrestled that one down. He's trying to sprint the length of the floor. He'll draw the foul. The call going against Smiley. Well, Smiley's coming in now, so it has to be on Roderick's shirt. That'd be his second. There you saw Mount Vernon's only close game, a 5-point win over Linden in the 5th game of the season.
But all 3 ball games, even though they won them by over 10 points, have been close for 3 quarters. So I think they're prepared well for this ball game.
James Delgardo in for the Vikings along with Gerald Smiley. Offensive foul called on Riesman.
I've been very impressed so far with Rainier Beach's tenacity on defense. They've had great help on the drive. They've stepped in and guarded the post excellently, and a great play by Smiley there to step in and take the charge. Great half-court defense.
6'2" senior getting 5s all around, and when you're doing that for your defensive play, that just inspires you to do it that much more. Shepard looking to the inside. Ball away for Delgardo. Roderick can't get it. Comes out with it after the miss by Shepard.
Again, Mount Vernon getting a jumping contest on the glass with Rainier Beach. That's a big mistake.
Tough shot for Shepard. And what do we have? End of the quarter. Okay, sorry, we were closing second. I'm so busy getting numbers settled in, I missed that we were coming up to the end of the first 8. Back-to-back threes late by Mount Vernon. Bring them back in the contest. It's a 1-point game at the end of 1. The Vikings on top of the Bulldogs.
Very simply, the largest automotive sales event in America returns to the Puget Sound this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's the Garage Sale. Now in its 15th year. Over 2,650 vehicles. All sale price for immediate disposal at 3 huge locations. Cheney Stadium, Tacoma. Everett Mall, Everett. The Super Mall of the Great Northwest, Auburn. If saving time and money is important to you, you simply cannot miss the Garage Sale this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at these 3 convenient locations. The Garage Sale. Nothing else even comes close.
You've seen our ads, maybe even called for information. Now the time is right for a fresh look at today's manufactured home. Call 1-800-35-OWNER for a free buyer's guide. Get the latest tips on financing and shopping for a manufactured home. Call 1-800-35-OWNER and get a free video, too. So call 1-800-35-OWNER now or visit our website. Today's manufactured home. Built for living, built for life.
I'm Brad Adam, and here's what's on tap for you tonight on the 11 p.m. Regional Sports Report. Mike Holmgren has a new Hawk under his wing. We'll tell you about the latest acquisition on the defensive line. Lou Piniella and his troops square off against the Padres and the Cubs. Complete coverage from Peoria will be provided for your viewing pleasure. And we are all over the state high school basketball championships in Washington. Join Andrew Lottie and me tonight right after the 3A boys game for the regionals.
Start of the second quarter, the Mount Vernon Bulldogs trail by 1 going into that start of the second quarter, and this will be the last time we will see the Mount Vernon Bulldogs in the 3A championship. No, it's not because they're not expected to have a good team next year. It's because this is their last year in 3A. They move up to 4A. Reclassification takes place this summer, and an undefeated state championship team is the way that Mount Vernon would like to leave the 3A classification. Gentlemen?
Thank you very much, John. It's happened before. Mount Vernon's been at the big level before, and other teams have done it. The Prairie Girls moved up from 3A to 4A and never missed a beat.
I don't think at basketball it's going to make a difference with either one of these teams. They can play 4A, 3A, 2A, 5A. It doesn't matter. They're just great basketball programs.
Not 5A. I have a hard enough time keeping track of the classes we got, buddy. First quarter shooting, Rainier Beach 5 of 17. That's 29%. Mount Vernon 4 of 9, 44%. But when your opponents are trying twice as many shots, you're going to be in trouble most of the time.
Yeah, those second chance points in the glass, they're going to have to cut those out. But they made a nice run at the end of the quarter to make this game pretty even.
Shepard with the 3. Tyrone with 7 already.
Wow, that was almost an NBA 3. I didn't realize Shepard had that kind of range, but he does shoot the ball very well from the outside.
The 3, and you get a feeling right there again, Bill, he's trying to do too much with the ball.
Well, Troy DeVries is a great shooter. He handles the ball well, but he's had a poor shooting tournament, 5 for 28 coming into this game, and probably trying to press it and try to make too many things happen right now.
Kyle Kendrick will check in for DeVries for the Bulldogs.
Kendrick, only a sophomore, is a great athlete. High school football quarterback, possesses a 90-mile-an-hour fastball already. My sources tell me that's pretty good.
A lot of kids in Mount Vernon can throw that baseball around. Thinking back to another guy who carried the Bulldogs to a state championship. 6 turnovers for Mount Vernon already. And you see Rainier Beach just continuing to go to the spread to get the isolations where they can. Lodrick spinning. Cooper over Thompson won't go, and Amaya the board.
Solid defensive effort right there by Mount Vernon, and one shot, which is important.
Riesman. Mount Vernon almost won open post as well. Riesman partially blocked, and they'll call the check. Delgado with it.
Riesman, even though he's only 6 foot tall, he plays a lot bigger. Long arms, and he can really elevate. Here he takes the ball into Delgado and just jumps right over him and able to draw the 2-shot foul.
Josh Riesman with a couple of big games already. The young man who has signed a letter of intent to play at Gonzaga next year.
Becoming a destination program.
2 years, actually. I take it back then. Bulldogs with an easy victory over St. Mary's in the West Coast Conference Tournament.
Their team went back for a summer basketball camp, and Riesman just tore it up, and the Gonzaga coaches just love his athleticism.
Staff at Bird with Northwest about as well as anybody. Roderick hanging, draws green shirts everywhere, can't get it. Big board. They call the whistle, but Amaya, I'll tell you, from this view, it appeared as though he had held the pivot, but he slid a little bit, but it appeared as though he kept it on the ground.
Yeah, I think he was complaining that he got hit, and that's why his pivot foot moved. But you got to be strong in this game. Rainier Beach slashes at the basketball. They're very physical, and you got to be tough when you get a rebound. You come down strong.
Little confusion. Oh, the net's stuck at the other end. All right, that's what we've got to get done. He's 1 for 1. Not bad. Roderick Stewart holding on to it. Now Smiley, another 3 on the way. They do have range, Bill.
This team is more than just the Stewart twins. And Smiley, Gerald Smiley, has made a big difference in this team. You know, he averaged 26 a game last year for Evergreen, and he just became eligible the last quarter for Rainier Beach.
Riesman's shot doesn't go. Lodrick Stewart the other way, trying to go by himself. The follow away over Amaya. And a whistle on the rebound. I think they're going to catch Kyle Kendrick out of position. Let's see.
Again here, Gerald Smiley just pulling up. Look at that form. He's a solid shooter and a real leader on this team. Mike Buffet has commented how much better their club has been since Gerald Smiley's joined. And he's unselfish, Todd. He's willing to give up points, only averaging 6 points a game, where he averaged 26 last year. So he's willing to sacrifice to win.
The call going against Riesman. That is the 16th foul. It's the 3rd foul on Riesman, and there was some confusion on the substitution as they were trying to get the right players in and out of the game.
Riesman off the floor.
Well, and Rainier beat him down to the ball while there were still 6 Mount Vernon players. Unfortunately,
try to go with that international play.
No,
get it in quick.
Only UConn's able to get away with the 6-man defense. Smiley with that one, and he is fouled on the shot. In case you missed it earlier today, UConn had 6 guys on the floor playing defense against Seton Hall. They did finally catch up to him. That foul against Kyle Kendrick.
Well, you know, Connecticut's not quite at the level they've been at in the past. They got to do whatever they can to get the edge.
To get into the tournament.
Yeah, he's a crafty guy.
That is the 7th team foul against Mount Vernon. So Rainier Beach will be in the bonus for the remainder of this first half. And we have a timeout called on the floor with 5:27 to play in the second quarter. And Rainier Beach leading it by a score of 17-12.
Rainier Beach is doing an outstanding job on the defensive end. They're shooting the ball well. They're getting points from other people like Smiley and Stephan. And they're just killing them on the offensive glass. They are just, Mount Vernon is standing and trying to jump with Rainier Beach. And if they don't start checking and blocking people out, it's going to be a long night.
Don't forget the Oregonian Northwest Shootout is set for March 23rd. High school basketball all-star game between the best players from Oregon and Washington. The border war starts at 6 with the girls' game. The boys immediately follow. Actually, if it's Saturday, I think it'll be March 24th. We'll check for you. Nope, it's Friday, the 23rd. There we go. So Friday the 23rd, starting at 6. Great event. The Oregonian Northwest Shootout. Glad to have it back here on Fox Sports Net. We will have it for you Friday the 23rd. Oregon versus Washington.
Showcasing that talent that is abounding in the Northwest.
Well, it's a great time of year to do it, too. You know, and as we said earlier, it's always been in the summer in years past, too. A little bit tougher to get the kids together. Now they're going to be coming right off the season after some of their all-state activities. That'll be a great, great matchup. Weak side rebound for Thompson, and he follows.
Thompson doing a nice job on the weak side. Good position. Doesn't jump well, but a heady kid. Most rebounds are had below the rim.
Especially if I'm out on the floor. Roderick Stewart, back door.
Excellent execution of the back door. Good ball movement. Little zone press, 1-3-1.
They snap ahead for Thompson. Too tall for him. He saves it. Nice effort there.
Now Vernon needs to show a little patience, get the ball inside.
So much for Pistons, but Amaya gets away.
Everything happens well when Tyler Amaya's got the basketball. Like I said, he shot the ball so well, and he had some great shot blocks and, of course, some great passes.
50% for both teams from three-point range. There was a force by Stewart. Roderick had that one in midair and had to adjust it.
There, perhaps Rainier Beach, and Roderick used to being able to shoot over people, got challenged by Shea right up on that shot.
A lot of traffic. As the breeze goes down, and a backdoor cut there for Amaya. Gains of 20, 19, and 17, and Amaya has 9 now. And there is a whistle afterwards. They're pointing towards DeVries. Did he say something? But, DeVries with a technical foul. I think he's complaining because he got belted when he was bringing it down the floor. You see Matt Frazier, who hollered about it. DeVries got decked and there was no call, and he must have said something on the way back down the floor. That also counts as a personal foul, so it's the second on DeVries. Rainier Beach unable to get the first on it.
Here DeVries, lots of contact, gets knocked dead to the floor right before this well-executed cut. We were overhearing Matt Frazier and DeVries talking, and Troy was just saying, I got knocked down, and I didn't say anything to the referee. He obviously overheard him saying something, but maybe not directly to the referee, and you kind of hate to see that. I mean, I don't think that's, I didn't see him getting anybody's face, that's for sure.
Agreed. Yeah, we were watching down the floor, and all of a sudden they pointed his way. Roderick Stewart getting 1 of 2 to stretch the lead back out to 2 points. James Delgado in for the Vikings once again. Green. Miley, they nearly got a piece of that. DeVries trying to step out. Roderick Stewart repositioning his teammates.
Beach trying to spread the floor, give themselves some room for penetration, using that athleticism, but big thing is they have a lot of patience. They're not 1-2 passes in a burp. They're willing to take a good look for a good shot.
Green with a big first step, couldn't get it. Thompson quickly to DeVries.
Good job by Vernon getting the ball off the glass. 1 and out.
Maya looking from way deep for a second. Shea, who's been quiet so far, has the 1-3. Outside, Thompson again. Nice board there by Amaya on the long rebound.
As I mentioned, he jumps very well and is a very quick jumper.
You said he's showing up on a lot more scout pages after this tournament.
Oh, yeah, I think he's a guy that goes to the Division I level, maybe not the Pac-10 level, but I think he could play the guard, the 2 or the 3 at the Division I level right now.
Couldn't get that one to drop, and a whistle for a foul. Now, which way the Mount Vernon players were applauding, so let's see. It is against Randy Green of Rainier Beach, his second personal.
Kind of, you see this much fall or this much action away from the ball being called, whether it's a technical foul or blocking or a hold. It's just, I don't know. I've never seen this much off-ball action called.
I agree with you, and it's almost hard to see it sometimes for us. That one, it looks as though Green had inside position. It's also the 7th team foul, and Kyle Kendrick nails the first free throw.
This certainly plays well into Mount Vernon's hands. They're an excellent foul team. Second in the tournament. They shoot about 76% of the team.
First time we've been tied in the game since it was 2-all. Mount Vernon coming back from an early 7-point deficit to deadlock Rainier Beach in the boys 3A championship game.
Not cutting it, okay? What do you bench?
350
Gallons?
By the way, your body calls. Yeah, looking for some vitamin D and A. Come on. Hey, I found a quarter.
Can I get a spot here? Yeah. What are you drinking? Sports drink. Sports drink. Later, sunshine.
Well, you just hit the stop button. They got a stop button. You just stop walking, or you got to...
Want to play? Milk has 9 essential nutrients active bodies need.
I'm all right. I'm up.
At Les Schwab, our business is more than just selling tires. It's serving customers.
I mean, you could see they're busy, but somebody, one of the individuals, takes the time to run out to greet you.
They have everything you need there.
Every one of the employees acts as if he's an owner.
You leave 100% satisfied.
They're good people.
People helping people. It's what Les Schwab is all about. And right now, it's spring sale time. If you need tires, it's a great time to buy.
Max Frazier's Bulldogs will deadlock this one with Rainier Beach. 21 apiece in the second quarter of play. Mount Vernon in its 5th final since 1990. Take a look at what's happened in this boys championship since 95. Franklin, Gig Harbor, O'Dea, Rainier Beach winning it in 98, Mercer Island, and then Seattle Prep beating Mount Vernon by 2 in a close one last year. With those last 3 names, Rainier Beach, Mercer Island, Seattle Prep, and the 4th year O'Dea, all 4 of those teams opponents for Mount Vernon in this year's tournament.
Like I said, that side of the bracket was tough, and this would be a fitting cap to an undefeated season for Mount Vernon.
Tyrone Shepard holding outside. Green and Smiley. Smiley trying to spread them out again.
Yeah, they go 4 corners and spread you. The big thing that Mount Vernon has to do is keep people in front of them, and then when the shot goes up, block off.
Open lane in the drive for Tyrone Shepard. 9 points for the junior.
Very impressive. I'll tell you what, he could put it on the floor for a big hit and shoot the long jumper. He's been their best offensive player this half.
Jay trying to counter for 3. Strong.
They can get a better shot than that. Really. That's a tough shot.
A little bit later in the offensive sequence, too.
Exactly. They need to take that extra pass, try to get the ball inside where they have the advantage.
You know, Bill, a lot of folks might say, well, geez, why doesn't Mount Vernon go to some sort of zone or a matchup? But the way Beach has been shooting, they've shown that they can hit outside tonight as well.
And they're willing to pull the ball out. That's the interesting thing about Rainier Beach this year is their patience. They're not going to take, the quick shot against the zone. They'll make it play man.
Smiley tried to anticipate everyone. The ball went out of bounds before he could fire it back in. Kenny Williams returns now for the Vikings for James Delgado.
And this is where Beach can run at you with some numbers. They got guys off the bench, very athletic, Derek Delgado, that can give you those minutes and give some of those backcourt players a rest. Keep the pressure on.
This one's been tight for most of the first half. Another bad pass by Shea. I'm not quite sure where he was trying to fire that one.
Just the level of quickness that Rainier Beach features on the defensive end. Passes that look like they could be there just aren't there because their hands are in the passing lane and they are so quick of foot.
Lodrick Stewart taking a good look at his defender. Green fakes the backdoor cut. Smiley.
Beach's space is so good.
Shepard pinned on the baseline. Found somebody outside. Lodrick, he got him in the air and nobody helped. Once the first guy was gone, he was off to the races.
These kids are ultra athletic, and what a great move by Lodrick.
And DeVries again forcing it. Here goes Lodrick. Oh, not at the summit by Amaya, but he got him with the body as well.
Lodrick is something else in the open floor. He can really flash and dash. A great play in the half court, and then he gets in the open floor. Great crossover. This is the ball that he dunked on a couple of nights ago, just slammed it down. But Amaya, like I mentioned before, can jump. And he jumped right with the Stewart kid.
Logic walking way away from the free throw line after that miss.
Not real happy with that shot. It's a good thing to do. Step away, regroup, and get your rhythm and your release point back.
23 in the semis, 15 in the quarterfinal win. Almost had the double-double there.
These kids are so mature. They're so athletic, but they're so under control, Todd. I'm just so impressed that they play with such, poise. That's a good idea with poise and just controlling their body and their actions in the half court.
DeVries batted away from behind.
Again, Gerald Smiley stepping in and taking some punishment. Great help defense.
The foul goes against Randy Green.
DeVries, they're up playing his jump shot, so he takes it baseline. A great play from behind by Randy Green, and he knows he's getting help from his friends. A great step in by Smiley.
It looked like a pretty good block right there, didn't it? The third personal against Green, and DeVries will go to the line.
That's smart basketball by Troy DeVries. I mean, he hasn't shot the ball well in the tournament, but when you're not shooting well, take the ball to the basket. He's been excellent at the foul line all tournament long.
First points of the game for DeVries.
24 seconds. I think Beach will probably work for the last shot here with a 3-point lead at this point. They're going to spread them out, work it down to about 9-10 seconds, and then try to attack the basket.
Kenny Williams is trying to get everybody spread out properly on the floor.
Vernon is falling back into a 3-2 zone.
Williams goes right by him, missed it. The follow attempt doesn't go. Still loose, and that'll do it. So Mount Vernon able to play some defense at the end there, and they come back after trailing by 7 early in the first quarter. They cut it to 1 at the end of the quarter, and we have a tight ball game at halftime. Rainier beats the 98 state champs, leading Mount Vernon by 3. We'll return after this.
Verizon Wireless, we didn't just create affordable coast-to-coast calling plans with no roaming or long-distance charges. We created an entirely new kind of wireless communications company. Single rate, only from Verizon Wireless. Join in.
Need tax fast before you get your paycheck?
A payday loan's a lot cheaper to get than a cash advance from my credit card.
Where else can you get instant cash hassle-free?
And free money orders. Show me a place that can do that.
Everyone's so friendly and professional. You walk inside and you know it's a place you can trust. There's a friendly Dollar Wise near you. Call 1-877-FAST-TAG.
You deserve the credit from Dollar Wise.
Not in the road.
You've seen our ads, maybe even called for information. Now the time is right for a fresh look at today's manufactured home. Call 1-800-35-OWNER for a free buyer's guide. Get the latest tips on financing and shopping for a manufactured home. Call 1-800-35-OWNER and get a free video, too. So call 1-800-35-OWNER now or visit our website. Today's manufactured home. Built for living, built for life.
Why drive dealership to dealership, wasting time when more than 30 of the area's finest dealerships have combined to display over 2,650 vehicles this weekend? It's the garage sale. The largest automotive sales event in America returns to these 3 huge locations. Cayman Stadium, Tacoma, Everett Mall, Everett, Super Mall, and the Great Northwest in Auburn. Virtually every year, make and model. On-the-spot credit approval. All trades welcome. And over 2,650 vehicles, all disposal sale price. Save time and money this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the garage sale. Nothing else even comes close.
Halftime at the Tacoma Dome, the Rainier beats Vikings, leading the Mount Vernon Bulldogs at halftime of the boys 3A championship game, 26-23. And we want to welcome our entire Fox Sportsnet audience, those of you down in the state of Oregon that have been watching the Oregon 4A Girls Championship basketball game, we welcome you to halftime of the boys 3A game here at the Tacoma Dome, where Rainier Beach is leading Mount Vernon by 3. And, of course, down in Oregon, hey, same old story, the Oregon City Pioneers with another championship. Congratulations to the Pioneers, a great tradition there, and their victory. If you weren't with us a little bit earlier here, West Valley of Yakima won the Washington Girls 3A Championship game. But let's talk about the boys right now, Bill Kruger. And this Rainier Beach team, we talked about their athleticism off the top. They have played every facet of the game, not just the speed and the ability, but very smart offense and defense.
Yeah, they've played great defense in the half court. They've really disrupted what Mount Vernon wants to do. And on the offensive end, they've been very patient, and they've really attacked the offensive glass and really dominated there.
Now, Mount Vernon, again, a team that has championship experience, was down early by about 7. Really didn't get flustered, didn't get rattled. They hit a couple of threes in a row to come back, but that was perhaps their steadiest point of play during the first half. They still have some things they need to clean up in the second half.
Well, Reisman's 3 fouls hurt them, but I'm amazed that they're this close because I think Rainier's really dominated them the first half. So that's the good news. Mount Vernon hasn't played their best basketball. They're only down 3.
And the guys who are their leading scorers who have carried them during the tournament, I'm thinking of guys like Amaya and Shea, have not gotten into the offense so far.
Well, they've done a poor job of entering the ball into the post. Reisman and DeVries haven't done a good job there. But again, give Rainier Beach quickness, credit for their quickness in guarding the post and disrupting the passing lane.
For fans who are just seeing the Stewart twins for the first time tonight, I think they're a little impressed, but they're getting great help from the rest of the cast as well.
Wow, they are something else in the open court and the closed court. Great moves to the glass, and they really elevate. Wow.
And great outside shooting for the Vikings as well. They lead it by 3 as they seek their 3rd state championship. Rainier Beach has never lost when they've made it to the final game. We'll be back with more halftime activities after this on Fox Sportsnet.
Okay, who are you?
The milkman?
You have a sidekick?
No.
A nemesis?
A what?
A bad guy?
I'm a people person.
Have you been fighting crime
I
wrong?
don't fight crime.
What do you fight?
I'll stick to races. A never-ending supply of milk. And chocolate milk.
Want strong bones? Calcium may help prevent that.
Local control of public education is a principle of our society, but with that comes an obligation to provide the facilities our children need for an adequate education. The current overcrowding not only impacts our education, but also raises safety and health issues as well.
Each year, each class is bigger and bigger until the high school is just bursting at its seams.
We need to pass this bond.
Websites come and websites go, but you've never met a site like this. BladeChevy.com. Build the Chevy of your dreams, feature by feature, automatically updated with actual factory invoice pricing. And if you're in the market for used, simply click through our nearly 200 guaranteed used vehicles, showing you high-quality pictures, internet specials, and prices. Start your shopping from home. Zero in on exactly what you want. Blade Chevrolet's new website. Exactly what you've been surfing for.
Halftime at the Tacoma Dome, and the Rainier Beach cheerleaders out on the floor as part of halftime activity. Their Vikings are on top of the Mount Vernon Bulldogs at the break by a 26-23 score. We are joined here at halftime by Ken Axelson, the president of the WIAA Executive Board. You know, those young ladies are just part of the example that takes place at every WIAA championship event, Ken. Not only the activities on the court or on the field, but cheerleading, academics, and much, much more are part of every state championship event.
Well, that's really true, Todd. We have drill and dance here in a couple weeks. We have drama. We have a music festival here in 3 weeks over at Ellensburg at Central Washington University. We have just a large number of activities that are sponsored by the WIAA.
And, of course, one of the things that always takes place at every event as well is recognizing the top team in the state, not for their performance, not for their one-loss record, but for the team GPA.
You know, since we started that, it's just amazing how many schools now are participating in that, not just as the academic state champion, but also for the scholastic recognition for any teams that have over a 3-1 GPA. So it's just amazing how many schools are out there and really trying to recognize their teams in that way from an academic standpoint.
And I think another nice feature that is really good about the WIAA tournaments and the events is in the area of sportsmanship, the Just Play Fair campaign. And that's really something that not only involves the teams and the coaches, but the spectators, the parents, and the supporters as well.
No, it really is. You know, I still feel, Todd, that WIA high school amateur athletics is probably the best thing that takes place. And the whole idea of sportsmanship is one thing that we really tried to push with all of our schools and all of our fans.
It's also nice, as you mentioned, there are a lot of other activities that get supported around the state, as you said, dance and drill. But you think of, really, there is something for everyone at a WIAA level, whether it's somebody who's out here in sneakers or somebody who wants to participate in other areas.
Well, I think that's really true. And if you look at some of the people that are in the stands, I think they all have a great time. You have parents, you have grandparents, you have kids that are all rooting for their home team. It's, I think it's a great event. It's cheap entertainment for people to be involved in. And it's just a great activity. Amateur athletics at its best that we try to sponsor.
We often see the sportsmanship awards presented during tournaments as well for players or people who make contributions towards sportsmanship. How did that initially develop, and how does that get evaluated every time?
Well, when we developed our strategic plan here, one of the things that we really wanted to promote was that good sportsmanship. So that whole idea of just play fair, the idea of promoting sportsmanship, citizenship, character, all of those types of things is what we're trying to promote. And because of that, we're trying to really get out there with it, not only our schools, but also our leagues across the state, really getting those people involved in the whole idea of just play fair.
How about some of the other activities outside of academics, or, I mean, athletics, maybe some things that we haven't touched on quite yet that people might not know about that the WIAA has some involvement with?
Okay. Well, again, we have in 2 weeks, we have our drill and dance over in Yakima. We'll have about 200 different schools, teams participating in that. We also have our solo and ensemble, small ensemble contest at Central Washington. Also, our debate tournament at DLU will happen here in about 3 weeks. So those are the different activities that we also sponsor outside of all the culminating events for WIA.
And that's in part why they call it the Washington Interscholastic Activity Association. Ken, thanks very much for your time. It's been a pleasure having you here at halftime.
Thanks. We really appreciate Fox Sports Northwest and everything they're doing to help promote high school athletics and activities.
No, we couldn't do it without all your help and support. Thanks once again. Ken Askelson, the president of the WIAA Executive Board, our halftime guest. Back to the Tacoma Dome after this.
Largest automotive sales event in America returns to the Puget Sound this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's the garage sale. Now in its 15th year. Over 2,650 vehicles, all sale price for immediate disposal at 3 huge locations. Cheney Stadium, Tacoma, Everett Mall, Everett, the Super Mall of the Great Northwest, Auburn. If saving time and money is important to you, you simply cannot miss the garage sale this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at these 3 convenient locations. The garage sale. Nothing else even comes close.
William Perry, Bill Lee, and Buster Douglas. They were unforgettable characters who captured our imagination.
It was more than I thought it was going to be. It was unbelievable.
But disappeared all too quickly.
Once we left the ring, that's when it all fell apart.
Where are they now? A Beyond the Glory special. Tomorrow at 8 on Fox Sports Net.
The WIAA Dairy Farmers of Washington Boys 3A State Basketball Championship are brought to you tonight by Pacific Northwest Bank, proud to be the presenting sponsor of the Washington Interscholastic Activities Association. By Les Schwab, our business is earning your trust. By the garage sale, nothing else even comes close. And by today's manufactured homes, built for living, built for life. From the Tacoma Dome, it is halftime where Rainier beats the number 1 team out of District 2, leads Mount Vernon, the number 1 team out of District 1, by a 26-23 margin. At halftime, Rainier Beach looking for its 3rd state championship, as is Mount Vernon. John Horton again, drawing one of the tough tough assignment here at halftime, Horton. I don't know how you pull it off. Let's go to John.
It's just a tradition. I always get to interview the Washington State Dairy Princess. Corinne Koopman joins us. She is the Washington State Dairy Princess. Where are you from? Because I even don't know where you're from after reading your biography. And what does the Dairy Princess do?
Well, I'm actually from Zilla, which is a small town in the Yakima Valley. And as the Washington State Dairy Princess or Dairy Ambassador, I represent the 700 dairy farmers of Washington and the wholesome product that they produce, which of course is dairy products.
Why is it that the dairy farmers of Washington promote the WIAA?
The dairy farmers believe very strongly in what the WIAA is trying to achieve, and that is growing healthy kids with a strong emphasis on their families and on their communities.
What's the best part about being the dairy ambassador?
Well, I would say the best part about being the dairy ambassador is definitely meeting all kinds of new people. I get to travel all over Washington and talk with people that I've never met before, and I really enjoy doing that.
As is always tradition, Todd Pickett wants me to ask, where does chocolate milk come from?
From brown cows?
Todd, there's your answer. Back to you.
Thanks, John. I was with her there till the end. She really was poised and polished, but we'll have to deduct a tenth of a point. Very nice job. Thank you, John. Thank you, Corinne. I used to get to do those interviews with Matt Horton. I'll tell you, he knows how to pull it off. Both teams back out on the floor. We'll take a look at first half highlights, give you the stats, get you ready for half number 2 when we return.
When we launched Verizon Wireless, we didn't just create affordable coast-to-coast calling plans with no roaming or long-distance charges. We created an entirely new kind of wireless communications company. Single rate, only from Verizon Wireless. Rainier.
Why drive dealership to dealership, wasting time when more than 30 of the area's finest dealerships have combined to display over 2,650 vehicles this weekend? It's the garage sale. The largest automotive sales event in America returns to these 3 huge locations. King Stadium, Tacoma, Everett Mall, Everett, Super Mall of the Great Northwestern Office. Virtually every year, make and model. On-the-spot credit approval. All trades welcome. And over 2,650 vehicles. All disposal sale price. Save time and money this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the garage sale. Nothing else even comes close.
We welcome you back to the Tacoma Dome, getting ready to start the second half of play. Rainier Beach leading Mount Vernon by a 26-23 score in this 3A Boys Championship game presented by the Dairy Farmers of Washington. First half highlights, Bill.
And Mount Vernon's really struggled in the half court, but the bright spot has been Tyler Maya, as it's been all tournament. Here, he just faces up and knocks down the three-point shot. Tyler ended up with 9 points, 4 for 6 the first half. Here, a very unusual miss, but Chris Thompson, an unsung player on this team, picks up the garbage. You know, he had 17 earlier in the tournament. He's a capable scorer.
Maya, the leading scorer, as Bill mentioned, with 9. Thompson 5, and Shea only 3. That coming on the long three-point ball. Meanwhile, it's been a lot of guys doing it for the Beach.
The Beach is very balanced and very deep, and some guys you haven't heard a whole lot about have done some big damage the first half. Right here, Tyrone Shepard taking it right to the rack, as Beach does so well. That's part of a big scoring half for Tyrone. He had 9 points, and then real unselfish play by Stewart to knock that ball on the back door back to Smiley for an easy 2.
Shepard with a three-pointer among those 9. Smiley with 6. Roderick Stewart with 5. Lodrick adding 3, by the way. And at halftime stats, a couple of very interesting numbers standing out there, and they're not in real favor for Max Frazier's Bulldogs. That field goal should be 10 at 29, so it's 29-17. Rainier Beach has almost twice as many shots still, and look at the turnovers.
There's the number, and that's a really lousy circle on my part, but the turnovers, 9 for Mount Vernon. They've got to cut that back. They've done a much better job the second half, the second quarter of controlling the basketball, and that's why they got back in the ballgame.
But again, as we said earlier, if you're putting the ball up nearly twice as many times, you should be in the lead.
They do attack the offensive glass. That's where all those extra shots came from.
Only 1 turnover for Rainier Beach, and immediately Mount Vernon trying to go long ball. Shea had it batted away, and Thompson, who missed the shot, faces it down, and the follow-up by DeVries.
Great rebound by Thompson. He's got a nose for the basketball, and that's a big shot for Troy DeVries. He's really struggled with his outside shot. Nice clean look, and he knocks it down.
Ties this game up for the third time.
Again, Beach is just not going to play against the zone. They're going to spread you out and try to make you play man.
Kenny Williams to the hole, and it trickles in for his fourth point.
Amazing at 5'8" that he can get his shot off in traffic. Very strong.
Now keep in mind, if you don't watch a lot of high school sports, if you're wondering how come Roderick Stewart's allowed to stand out there, we still play under the old, if you're behind or side, you've got to come out. We're playing the old rules. There's no shot clock. Callaway three. Back-to-back bombs, and it's Reisman this time.
That's how Reisman started the last three ball games. Struggled the first half of this game, but locking in that shot to start the second half. That's important for their backcourt.
Mount Vernon's first lead is 2-0. Reisman in traffic. Are they going to call it travel on Williams? What a recovery. He nearly got it back down the floor.
Once you get past the front line of the Rainier Beach defense, you must be aware of the strip from behind, because they will keep coming at you and chase the basketball.
Lob, and Williams is there again. Shea able to save it. It just isn't a safe spot, and there's Roderick with the steal. Stewart down the floor, through the traffic, tough left-hand shot. Laughed off of a green-clad Mount Vernon Bulldog. It'll go to Rainier Beach.
Roderick has missed a lot of finishes on the break, but he is so fun to watch in the open court. So athletic, so creative.
James on the left side. Roderick trying to get down to the block a little bit.
Roderick a little better inside.
Roderick outside. Chase back down. Green able to come up with it.
Second chance opportunities again for Beach.
There's the guy who's been impressive. Shepard couldn't get it. The three. Now Mount Vernon can finally take a breath and maybe run what it wants to. Little flare there for DeVries, and batted right away. Green there. Now they collapse, take it away. Williams, 3-on-1. Quick Stewart. It's Roderick. Whistle before the shot. Offensive foul. Did about all they could do that time and took the charge from Williams.
Boy, 3-on-1, a smart basketball play by Shea to step in, draw the charge, and take away this big-time dunk. Again, Beach so good in the passing lane. You disrupt the pass, and they're good with their hands, strip the basketball. Williams off to the races, 3-on-1, but Shea, a heady play to step in front of Williams and deny Beach and Roderick's dunk at the end of that break.
All the pizzazz goes away. Amaya double team. What a great pass from Shea. Threaded the needle and found Scott.
As I've mentioned, every time Tyler Amaya touches the ball, something good happens. Either he scores it or he delivers to one of his teammates. He's just been outstanding returner.
The Golden Bulldogs thus far. It's an 8-2 run for Mount Vernon to open this third quarter of play.
Beach starting to stand around a little bit on offense.
Followed by Tyrone Shepard as he tried to attack too many defenders. And a mistake by Reisman. He gets it back. Roderick Stewart.
Did he just blow by everybody like they were standing still? Wow, is he fast in the open court.
I think they were standing still because they knew there wasn't anything they could do.
The Stewart twins are breaking out that high-level, high-wire act so far the second half.
Williams, little pull-up, can't get the runner. That would have given the Vikings the lead, and they're going to call Tyrone Shepard for the rebounding foul. He says, yeah, I was standing still. It was Amaya throwing the bows. Shepard's second foul.
Again, we're going to see the strip. Reisman loses the basketball on the spin, and the ball kicks out, and there goes Roderick, and did he fly all the way for the ram down.
Thompson, he can hit outside. Reisman, he'll pull up for three. Tapped by the Vikings, it'll belong to Mount Vernon. Matt Frazier is up screaming. His guards right now, Bill, are trying to throw three moves and a fancy fall away every time against Rainier Beach's defenders.
Well, I talked about their guards handling Rainier Beach's quickness, and they've really struggled with it. Reisman does not always take the best shot. He's very, very athletic, and I think he's finally met his match in this game. He can't really go by these guards.
DeVries, straight up, they're fine. It's when they try to get fancy, they get hurt. Troy with his second three of the quarter.
He can really shoot the basketball. That's why it had to change. 5 for 28 is just not going to stand very long with a great shooter like Troy DeVries.
Gerald Smiley's going to come back in for the Vikings at the next opportunity. Roderick trying to see what pressures on his back. Couldn't feel anything there. Underneath now, Shepard. Tough ball away. Batted and it comes down to Shea.
Much better job by Mount Vernon on their defensive glass. One shot and out is the key.
Griezmann. DeVries on the right side this time. He's going to try to go back-to-back. Left that one.
Get a seat underneath him.
You're right. Shea batted away for a minute. Now Amaya. DeVries left alone inside the stripe. Can't get it. Pat but not controlled. Shea to Thompson. To Amaya. Didn't go glass. They hit the boards again. And there's a whistle. Many people standing up in front of us have no idea what's going on.
Well, it was a great effort on the glass by Mount Vernon. 3 extra chances. Couldn't get it to go down, but really handing back a little of what Rainier beat them in the first half on the offensive glass.
Jay is whistled for the personal foul, his third. Take a look at that young man's haircut. We'll tell you about it when we come back.
So, Dad, this is our first official date. I just got to ask, what sign were you born under?
Oh, a big neon one that said Halo.
Just passing.
Wow, you really are.
Visit Money Tree today for a payday loan. Just write us a post-dated check and we'll hold it until you get paid. Money Tree, your tax solution.
You got a break. You.
Hey everybody, I'm Brad Adam, and here's what's on tap for you tonight on the 11 p.m. Regional Sports Report. Mike Holmgren has a new hawk under his wing. We'll tell you about the latest acquisition on the defensive line. Lou Piniella and his troops square off against the Padres and the Cubs. Complete coverage from Peoria will be provided for your viewing pleasure. And we are all over the state high school basketball championships in Washington. Join Angel, Lottie, and me tonight right after the 3A boys game for the regionals.
Back at the Dome, Matt Frazier's Mount Vernon Bulldogs on top, and Bill, they're doing some things better in this third quarter of play.
A lot of good things happen when they get the ball inside. Now, they've had trouble making the entry pass here. Even though that got in, it got deflected. But when Amaya touches the basketball, always something good happens. A lot of times he's been the score here. He sees his teammates. Scott, these kids have played together for a long time. They know one another. And I'll tell you what, I've been so impressed with Amaya's play. Not just, every facet. Shot blocking, passing, shooting the basketball. They need to get him more touches.
How's this line for him so far in the third quarter? 9 points, 8 boards, and 4 assists. All three leading Mount Vernon in those categories. Roderick Stewart got a man in the air, lost the handle, and it goes to Mount Vernon.
Roderick's gotten by a lot of people this evening, but he hasn't finished very well.
Rainier Beach, 1 turnover in the first half, 5 in this quarter.
They've been sloppy on the half court. They really have been.
Griezmann got by his defender. Shea, the little pump fake.
A little cockatoo on the bench from Matt Frazier, and Griezmann attacks the defense and makes a great pass.
James Delgado in the lineup for Rainier Beach during that break. Batted away. Roderick Stewart able to chase it down.
Beach is getting a little bit tentative on the offensive end. They're not moving as well as they did the first half, and they're going to have to start reversing the ball a little bit better, get more movement in their offense.
Whistle and an offensive foul, illegal screen going against Smiley. First foul against Gerald. Down at the other end as we see the Rainier Beach bench. Mount Vernon is now telling the players on defense, Bill, don't extend, don't extend. They're bringing it back in a little
As we
more.
talked about, just keep those guys in front of you. I expect Beach to come out and add some pressure to try to get this game into more of a frenzy pace.
Smiley, who's been active in several phases of the game, and he's tried to draw charges. He's been a disruptive force, as it were, for the Vikings. Tried to trip Amaya, and he made him pay.
The Breeze having a great half offensively, and that was a nice drop step for a guard inside.
8 points in the quarter for Troy DeVries, 10 in the game, and a timeout called by Rainier Beach. It's the players for the Bulldogs reminding one another that they're playing well, but they need to settle down. Let's check in with the huddle. First, Matt Frazier in the Mount Vernon huddle.
Rainier Beach basically talks about the fact that they just need to settle down and keep playing their ball game. They said there's not a time to worry right now. The fact is, a lot of time left in the game. Just play your game and things will work out for themselves. Guys?
Scott, I think the big play was that 3-on-1 where Shea stepped in and drew the charge. Took away that dunk. That really changed momentum of the second half.
That is a good point, Bill. The foul right there on DeVries is his third. The Bulldogs have lifted their game on offense as well. Green left alone. Couldn't get that straight. Roderick Stewart tapping it. Green to follow. Lot of contact again. Third time batted away. Roderick follow won't go. Green doesn't go. And finally Amaya on the board.
Wow, spirited effort. Just cannot get the ball to go down. The lid on the basket so far this half for Rainier Beach.
Nice save by Shea. Rainier Beach still pressuring, but Shea left alone, and that's a three.
The swagger is starting to come back from Mount Vernon. They're playing with a lot more confidence, and they're starting to sprint away in this ballgame.
It's an 18-4 run right now. Roderick Stewart trying to counter it and gets it. Bill, that was a great play. He didn't try to get strong to the cup, put it up soft when he was off balance.
He's gotten to the basket so well this game. He just hasn't been able to get it to fall. Finally, it dropped.
Vikings extending their pressure. They can turn this game back around in a hurry, and Mount Vernon knows that.
Mount Vernon just needs to take care of the basketball and make solid basketball.
Oh, what a cut there. Reisman set it up, and DeVries found him.
That's what they do a nice job of. Make basketball plays. They back cut so well against pressure. They're starting to do that much better the second half.
Now, Beach says spread it out, but Mount Vernon says you can stand out there all you want and run time right now. Roderick to the hole. Can't get the roll. Roderick weak side, batted and then controlled by DeVries.
Another great drive, just not finished. Roderick had so many balls that just hung on the rim and now the drop.
Now starting to see a little bit of that frustration perhaps for the Vikings. The backcourt foul, and that one against Roderick Stewart.
Again, here's a nice delivery. Again, they backdoor so well. Reisman with the nice touch. DeVries with the delivery. DeVries has been outstanding.
Shea taking a seat on the bench. Kyle Kendrick comes back in. Reisman, that lob just a little strong as he overestimated the abilities of Tyler Amaya, and Josh says, yeah, my fault.
Josh is a young man with a lot of talent, but I'm sure sometimes he raises the level of frustration and creates a lot more gray hair from that Frazier.
Smiley just dribbled right into the teeth of the defense, missed that shot, and then fouled him on a rebound.
Beach getting a little frustrated, starting to hack at the basketball because their shots aren't falling. Again, Smiley taking it strong in traffic, probably felt like he was fouled, and he probably was, but then fouled it up by going over the back.
Closing seconds now of the quarter. The Bulldogs beat the pressure. Reisman against two. Pulls up. And if the coaching staff would sit down, I'll tell you what happened. It looks like there's a rebounding foul.
Maya got the foul there on the rebound. Again, I really think that Mount Vernon's been so successful by getting the ball inside, and Reisman has taken some really difficult shots when they can get a better one.
Substitutes coming in here for the Bulldogs. Darren Richlander and John Lee will come in.
Good time to give both guards a blow. They're going to see a lot of pressure in the fourth quarter.
And both have 3 fouls, so they don't want to get that. Green did not get that shot off. Vikings were not able to get it down the floor in time. A big third quarter for the Mount Vernon Bulldogs. They scored 23 points in the first half. They got 20 in the third quarter. They lead by 11 with 8 minutes left in regulation.
What's behind the success of the Z800?
Our first Z800 was introduced over 12 years ago, followed by the Plus, and today our newest Z800, the Ultra. With over 5 million sold and millions of miles on the road, our customers compliment us on its great handling, ride, and outstanding mileage. It's why we believe the Z800 Ultra is the best-built tire in the world today. Like Les said, try a set for 30 days. If you don't agree, return them. We'll give you your money back.
Z800 Ultra, built. It doesn't matter how it's done. Who repairs it does. Call Mount Vernon or Would-Be Auto Glass today. Until today, if a stone cracked your windshield, you needed a new windshield. Now, Mount Vernon and Windy Auto Glass can repair many cracks, insurance approved. Don't let it spread. Call Mount Vernon or Windy Auto Glass for an appointment today.
A side-by-side combination refrigerator freezer weighs an average of 317 pounds. Hey, you need a hand?
I'm okay.
So much for cash and carry. Brand Source offers fast, firm delivery time, installation, and removal of the old appliances, all for one low price. Available at Anderson Appliance, downtown Mount Vernon.
Honey, are you home?
She's probably over at Brand Source. Smart lady.
Ready to start the fourth quarter of play in the boys 3A championship game. Third quarter shooting. Mount Vernon was 8 of 14. That's 57%. As you see, the 20-6 run they had in the third quarter. That's scoring by half, but that's third quarter scoring so far. Rainier Beach from the field in the third quarter, Bill, 3 of 16.
Yeah, they've had so many chances right at the cup, haven't been able to get it down. But again, the big play was early, the 3-on-1, where Shea drew the offensive foul and denied Roderick Stewart's dunk. That could have changed the momentum of the game, but it didn't, and now Mount Vernon on a run.
All right, Bill, what do the Vikings do to get back in the game?
Well, they got to continue to attack, and if they can get a made basket, start to press. And again, another second chance, can't get it to fall.
Reisman with that rebound, and the pressure intensifying by the Vikings.
Just got to swing the basketball. Beach is going to start chasing the ball now.
DeVries, another outside shot, and a good strong board for Tyrone Shepard, but he's been quiet from the floor in this second half.
Don't underestimate Beach. They can score in bunches.
Green trying to get 3 of them at can't. Great hustle right there by Amaya for the save. Man left alone at the other end. It's DeVries. He was too worried about Roderick.
Got intimidated by Roderick right there. Missed the triple. Again, Mount Vernon just has to control the basketball and be patient. They've got the lead.
And they're forcing Beach to play some perimeter. Now the inside man spins. It doesn't drop for Shepard. DeVries finding Reisman. And again, if you join us late, there is no shot clock, so Mount Vernon does not have to release the ball in any designated period of time.
Now get the ball inside, be patient, use those back cuts against pressure. Just take quality shots. And they're a great foul shooting team.
Bill, they're running some clock right here, going to some open posts and a double stall. Just stacking and cutting.
Which is to their advantage. They've got the lead. Go inside to Maya. Nobody can handle him in there.
And he gets the basket and the foul. They isolated him on the block tonight for the first time, really. That's a big hoop.
They ran some wide 5-man passing game. Here we're going to see the highlight, the replay of DeVries on that cherry pick. And boy, he get intimidated. Lodrick came from nowhere and just, intimidated him and forced him to miss the shot. But then Amaya, that signature spin move in the post. Every time he touches it, something good happens. He's been outstanding this tournament.
That's really the first time that they've been able to get a guy down on the block, and they get the offensive board. Now it's their turn to spread and get advantage. Shea to the cup, blocked away nicely by Shepard. Still loose, battle for it. Shea, that's a walk. Yep, he set a foot and then spun over. Good hustle, but you can't do that.
Shea has been very aggressive in the second half. There's been games where he stood around, but boy, he's drawn charges a couple of times. He's been active on the glass. Good sequence by Mount Vernon. They really went after it and just, turnover because of hustle.
Roderick Stewart matched up with Shea. Going to try to take him to the hole. You see Shea giving ground, the outside jumper. Right now, Mount Vernon will concede that. Roderick Stewart's 9th point of the game.
He can make that outside shot. He just hasn't shot it a whole lot this game.
6 this half for Lodrick, but the rest of his team's not helping out. Stutter step by Reisman. Thompson
again, they should just work the basketball, try to get the ball inside to Amaya.
Well, he gets by Lodrick, and there's a dunk for the Bulldogs.
I told you this young man is 6'6", but he's a quick jumper, and he can play above the rim with the Stewart twins.
And it's the Bulldogs getting some airtime. Followed by Shepard, gets the basket.
He's been their one solid, dependable offensive player this game.
Freeze able to hold. He's just going to use some time here. Amaya cuts backdoor. Reverse.
You know what? Do that so well, Todd. Read the defense, the overplay, quick back cut, and Amaya showing his athleticism with the reverse.
Bill, I'm not saying he's the same body as he D's there against Shepard, and Shepard puts it in. But you know who Amaya's reminded me of the last 2 trips down the floor? Those are Casey Calvary type moves down the lane.
Just a little smaller, a little thinner, but you're absolutely
a whole lot thinner.
And he could, well, I'll tell you what, though, Casey Calvary wasn't that
That's
big
right.
when he came to Gonzaga. He was kind of skinny, too.
Yep, he was a skinny kid out of Bellarmine, but that's what it's been like for Amaya. Very reminiscent of those type of moves the last 2 trips.
Well, I'll tell you what, Gonzaga would love to have Amaya walk on for him. Maybe they'll have to offer him a scholarship. Who knows? I know they're interested in him.
Hand check called on Kenny Williams.
Again, here is Amaya on the dribble. We saw the spin move. Here's a straight drive and just goes right up above the rim and throws it down. And again, a nice back cut with the reverse. As I've mentioned, his stock's going way up. If college scouts are watching this ball game, they have to be interested in Tyler Amaya.
Reisman unable to hit off the bonus. Roderick Stewart with a head of steam. Uh-oh, getting fancy there. But guess what? He ran into Shea again.
Well, if there was any question about Scott Shea's toughness, he has proven this second half that he's tough. That's his 3rd offensive charge. He's drawn 1, wasn't called. He's been on the floor for basketballs. He's done the dirty work. Again, stepping in, again on the fast break. Look at that contact he drew.
That's just a little bit of impact
tough
there.
Team, unselfish basketball. Scott Shea, he wants to win.
Mount Vernon guys thought they were calling for timeout. Now you saw the haircut there on Scott Shea as he goes to the line. That is the official lucky haircut. And he's cut reminiscent of the style that Mark Hendrickson wore for Mount Vernon when they won the championship back in 1992 with a win over Shorecrest. So before yesterday's semifinals, Scott Shea had Josh Reisman do the honors.
Team barber.
Yeah. 3 in double figures so far.
Well, it's clear it's all about winning, and that's what Scott Shea has done this evening. He hasn't been about points. He's been more about doing the little things to win.
Tapped out by Thompson, and of course Hendrickson was the guy I was referring to in the first half when we talked about baseball players coming out of Mount Vernon. He's got an arm as well. Timeout on the floor midway through the 4th quarter. Mount Vernon looking for state title number 3, and the first since that Hendrickson team won it in '92.
Sports drinks, not cutting it, okay? What do you bench? 350. Gallons? By the way, your body called. Yeah, looking for some vitamin D and A. Come on! Hey, I found a quarter. Can I get a spot here? Yeah. What are you drinking? Sports drink. Sports drink. Later, sunshine. Well, you just hit the stop button. They got a stop button, or you just stop walking, or you got to.
Want to play? Milk has 9 essential nutrients active bodies need.
I'm all right. I'm up.
Every Sunday before the green flag drops, it's NASCAR This Morning, the best pre-race tailgate party this side of Talladega.
A new way to start off your race day.
Coverage begins with NASCAR Tech tomorrow at 7 on Fox Sports Net.
I'm Jim Rome. Next week on The Last Word, I'll be joined in studio by Daytona 500 winner Michael Waltrip, and I'll talk to 76ers head coach Larry Brown about his team's outstanding season. The Last Word, weeknights at 11:30 on Fox Sports Net.
The WIAA Dairy Farmers of Washington Boys 3A State Basketball Championships have been brought to you tonight by the Dairy Farmers of Washington, proud title sponsors of Washington State High School Athletics. Got milk? I'll take a little of that chocolate right now.
Oh, yeah.
For the stretch run.
Sure.
Prop feet up on the Barca Lounger, a little chocolate milk.
Sounds good.
Watch the end of a great ball game. Mike Bethea is trying to remind his team of what got them to the lead in this ball game, Bill, and what they need to go back to.
Well, I think it's frustrating. They've had a lot of opportunities to get that signature spurt, and 3-on-1 breaks and slashes to the hoop. Ball just has not fallen for this team. They're a young basketball team. They're going to be back, but I think they thought they were here right now.
During the last couple timeouts, he's tried to remind his team that that's what they need to be, a team. Make some passes, play as a unit rather than going to individual play. Reisman dribbling back out of danger once again. You mentioned earlier, Bill, I said, well, all those double-digit wins in the tournament, and you said, well, the opponents were in every game until late in the second half, and it's been a second-half spurt again. Amaya, blocking foul, goes against Shepard, but they've pulled away in the second half with their play.
That's exactly right. Here, running some clock, and then Amaya showing at 6'6", he can handle the basketball. And look at this little adjustment he makes in the air to avoid the charge. These are things that scouts see. His body control, his athleticism, his quickness, his ability to put the ball on the floor and shoot the outside shot. He's, in my mind, a definite Division I prospect. Someone better be on his trail.
Somebody better help him with the free throws there. He's 0 for 2. And did you notice, Bill, he's dropped to 70% shooting tonight. He's way off for that.
Jeez, I don't know. I think I'd have to take him out of the ball game.
7 out of 10 from the floor. And finally gets one of the free throws to drop as well. He's your leading scorer with 16 points.
Beach needs a quick score and then turn up the heat. Full court pressure. High octane pressure.
Green trying to do that, and he gets it. Back down to 10. Randy Green with his first points since the first quarter.
This is where Riesman's got to do a good job of handling the basketball, making sure they stay in their offense.
And they'll call the bump. Kenny Williams says, well, hey, they're pushing off. But he picks up his 4th foul.
I think it's been hard for the players to get a handle on what they can and can't do in this ball game. A lot of incidental bumping, things off the ball that have been called. I think it's been difficult for players.
10th team foul on Rainier Beach, so 2 shots for here on in for Mount Vernon.
Plays right into their strength. An excellent free throw shooting team. The weakest of the bunch in the tournament has been Riesman at 40%, but he's knocking them down this game, isn't he?
4 out of 5 at the line, yep.
That makes him 8 out of 15. That's a little bit better.
Lodrick Stewart. That's a great shot because Amaya got
balls
a hand
in a row,
up.
and here comes the heat.
12 for Lodrick, his first 3 of the game. And it is right back down to 9. Big collision there. Nice job by the referee stepping in because Shepard and Riesman, the temper's flying a little bit there. Shepard picking up his 4th foul.
It was hard to see. We're able to take a look at the replay here. It looked like Shepard had pretty well. He was reaching in. If he hadn't reached in, he probably could have drawn the charge there, but reaching in gave him the block foul.
Nice job by Don Tuggle there in stepping in between the 2 players. Mount Vernon has taken a 30-second timeout with this 9-point lead. The last few times down, they're trading 1 or 2 for 3s, and that's allowed the Vikings to start to come back in this one.
Yeah, but it's going to take an awful lot of 3s if Mac Frazier's club continues to take their time on the offensive end, spread them out, and try to draw fouls and make free throws. Put a lot of pressure on Beach to make a 3 almost every trip down.
While Mount Frazier talks to his team, let's check in with John Horton.
Okay, make your free throws, Josh. Keep it going right here. Just hit 2.
Here it is. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. All of the Mount Vernon Bulldog fans, they've got a Bond Awareness Parade coming up this week, and I bet you that they would love to have a state championship float in there. That's at least what the principal told me. These guys are happy, and they think they might be close to a state championship. Guys?
I think John said something.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what.
a little muddied over there. A lot of noise.
Thank you, John. Riesman getting them both. He becomes the 4th player in double figures now with 11. Inside move. Shepard can't get the drop. Amaya the board.
How many layups has Rainier Beach missed this evening? A bunch.
A lot of pressure now by the Vikings. Thompson threw it behind Shea, and it's a turnover. Green. Roderick Stewart. Shepard goes to the line.
You almost say concede the layup right there because a foul stops the clock. And Beach making 2 free throws here has a chance to set up their full court press.
Chris Thompson called for his first personal.
Once you beat pressure, there's no reason to attack at this point. That was an ill-advised pass by Thompson. Just pull the ball out and get back into that spread offense.
Most of those Mount Vernon free throws have come since the Bulldogs spread things out a little bit. Shepard at his per-game average for the regular season with that 13-point performance.
He, Williams, and are both juniors, and the twins are sophomores. This team is loaded for the future.
For the Bulldogs, they feel the time is now. DeVries lifting the pivot foot.
Again, Mac Frazier screaming at his players to take care of the basketball. Time is on your side at this point. Just don't turn it over. Make them foul.
DeVries, one of 7 seniors on the Mount Vernon roster. A team that is in its 2nd straight championship game, losing by 2 a year ago. Lodrick Stewart, follow away over Thompson, left that short.
Difficult shot. With this amount of time, he should still be attacking the basket.
Shea, they're just trying to find someone right now, and now the Bulldogs can spread once again. Griezmann all the way to the hole, hits the deck hard. I didn't hear a whistle. They do have a call, I think, finally. I didn't see a hand go up, but they have the basket and the foul. And the call goes against Lodrick Stewart.
As much as Josh Griezmann might turn coaches' hairs gray, he does make some fantastically athletic plays. Here, just taking it fearlessly right into the teeth of the Rainier Beach defense. Goes up strong, takes the contact, and lays it in the hole.
Scary moments right there when a guy gets undercut a little bit.
And I don't think that was meant to be just the position of the body.
Right, right. It's unintentional sometimes, but when you're up in the air, that is tough.
We had a play last night where Justin McCullum got underneath Amaya. Intentionally got kicked out of the ball game on a dunk play.
See Griezmann leaning a little bit there.
Cowboy set, but no cutters. You hear me? Cowboy set.
Again, Mac Frazier talking about what? Take care of the basketball, be strong with the basketball, make your free throws, be patient. At the other end, everybody rebound. Griezmann's had a great half. Both he and DeVries have really made a difference the second half in scoring and taking care of the basketball, making basketball plays.
He's in some pain, you can tell. 11 of those 13 points have been since intermission. Converts the three-point play. It's his 3rd double-figure game in this tournament. Smiley will let that come back down. Smiley, Roderick, tough runner, and the air ball fielded by Amaya.
They're living just for the 3 ball.
Shea to the hole. He was worried about the defenders. Thompson with the follow.
I'll tell you what, he's come up with some garbage baskets, and he can't jump, but he's got a nose for the basketball.
And they force the turnover, and Amaya gets fouled by James Delgado. The Mount Vernon folks on their feet across from us.
No question that the intestinal fortitude was tested by Beach at the half. Mount Vernon did not play well the first half. The good news was they were only down 3, and they've really played Mount Vernon-style basketball the second half. They've just been great.
Their 5th championship game appearance in 12 years. They went to 3 straight in 90, 91, and 92. 2 of those against Battleground, 1 against Shorecrest, and then, as we mentioned, lost last year.
It's a great basketball program. It doesn't matter what level they play at. They're going to make a lot of noise.
Maya getting them both. Lay in for Terry Berry. As the Vikings clear the bench a little bit, get some other subs in. Contact, offensive foul on Griezmann as Smiley takes another one.
Boy, Smiley really gives up his body on defense. That's about the 3rd charge that he's drawn. He's a physical kid.
Now the Bulldogs getting set to clear the bench.
Great opportunity for the bench guys to share in the glory. Step on the floor of the state championship game.
Whistle on that drive by Green. John Lee, Aaron Ritzoender, Eric Powell, Stanley Johnson, all in the lineup.
Long shot for Green doesn't go. Grabbed by Travis Storer, and lost in the backcourt. Mac Frazier telling his subs don't foul, and they do anyway.
Again,
Smiley
second
goes
trip
up.
down.
So I'm not celebrating until it's over. I'm not celebrating.
Tyler Amaya igniting Mount Vernon in the second half, a double-double.
He's been the difference. I'll tell you what, he is the outstanding player in this tournament in my mind. A guy averaging 8.5 points a game comes in and just dominates the tournament.
He is the winner of our Player of the Game award, sponsored by Pacific Northwest Bank. 20 versus O'Day, 19 versus Seattle Prep, 17 against Mercer Island, 18 tonight against Rainier Beach. I have a hunch, although we haven't gotten it, that he's probably the tournament MVP on this all-tournament team.
There's any question.
Smiley getting the first two of his three-shot foul. Riesman will come back in. DeVries will come back in.
Mac Frazier a little concerned about Beach's full court press. He brings his guards back in the game. No reason to take any chances at this point.
And Smiley with good form gets all three. He has 9 in the game now. Riesman fouled in the backcourt by Delgado. Well, that young man has a couple more years. Ludwig Stewart along with his brother to perhaps win a state championship. But disappointment as they got here this year and couldn't pull it off.
Yeah, it's nothing but the future for this club. As I mentioned, Shepard and Williams, both juniors, and then the Stewart twins are two of the best sophomores in high school basketball across the country. And it's going to be a lot more great basketball from these two young guys. And they're going to be back here again next year. You watch.
The Vikings led at 11-4 early, led by 3 at halftime, but Mount Vernon with a 20-6 advantage in the third quarter of play, and they never looked back. Smiley taking the long route to the basket. Follow doesn't go. Tapped in nicely by James Delgado. And a timeout called by Rainier Beach with 26 seconds left.
Full timeout, guys. Full timeout.
Full timeout called by the Vikings, who are going to lose a state championship game for the first time in their history. After winning in 1988 and 1998, they will come up short to Mount Vernon this time.
I don't think there's any shame. This Mount Vernon team is senior-led, a quality team.
Undefeated
Rainier Beach
for the year.
Exactly. Rainier Beach is nothing but the future. These kids should not be disappointed. They've shown a lot of the ability of playing in tight ball games. They're so much better in half court than I've seen the Beach teams in the past. And they're just going to get better.
And give them some credit, too. Early in the season, they lost 3 times in league, twice to the defending state champions from Seattle Prep. But they beat Seattle Prep in the districts and beat Mercer Island in overtime in the districts to earn the #1 spot out of the district. So a very solid team. And for the Vikings, James Delgado, Jeffrey Haywood, Terry Berry, Randy Green, Noble Johnson, Gerald Smiley are their seniors. That's a lot of talent still coming back.
They just did not get a lot of those second shots to fall.
Great move right here at midcourt by Gerald Smiley, a guy who has really put a lot of heat and has pressured the Mount Vernon guys. He walks up to Josh Riesman and gives him a big hug and congratulates him on winning the state championship. Wonderful move of sportsmanship right there by Gerald Smiley, and he deserves that recognition.
Yeah, he's a guy that came along in the last quarter and has joined his team. They had not lost with him in the lineup. A guy that averaged 26 points a game, that's willing to give up his offense to make his team better, and he's done a great job of giving the Beach team a lot of leadership. He's a quality kid.
Here you see, here he is coming up to DeVries right now and congratulating him. He tried to give some guys the needle, typical game talk during the game, but comes up and congratulates him. Very classy move there as Smiley heads down to the Viking bench. Mike Bethea will empty his bench as well now.
I really think the second half, Beach probably should have been up 8-10 points at halftime. They weren't. In the second half, they had their little spurt, and Shea stepped in and got that charge on the dunk, and I think that really took away their momentum, and they just could never gain it back.
Another one for Amaya, who thought his night was over, so 19 points now for Tyler. Beach having to chase the ball down there for a minute.
The roller doesn't go for Haywood, and they start to count it down. And the last team to go undefeated and win a championship was O'Day in 1997. Before that, it was that 92 Mount Vernon team. They were the last team to win the title, and the subs are going to come back in one more time. It's a curtain call for the Bulldogs.
All these kids have played together for so long, and now they're being rewarded. Fought through the gauntlet, beat O'Day, beat Prep, beat Mercer Island, and now they're going to beat Rainier Beach, and they are the champions.
The last 4 state champions, they knocked them all off, and Mount Vernon caps the undefeated season.
Boy, it just doesn't get any better than that, Todd. Look at these kids. Something they'll never forget. Just getting to the tournament is something you'll never forget. But to win it and do it undefeated, and there's the star right there, Tyler Amaya. He's been just phenomenal this tournament.
Getting to the tournament may seem old hat for fans from Mount Vernon. They're used to being in the run. It's their 11th appearance at the 3A level, and they've played at other classifications. But in the last 12 years, they've reached the championship game 5 times. This one, their 3rd state championship trophy, the 9th trophy overall in the Bulldogs cabinet. Mike Bethea in tears a little bit as he congratulates the Mount Vernon players. The Rainier Beach coach, very emotional as well.
It's been a fun basketball game. Both these teams so athletic, matching their athleticism. Beach just couldn't get those easy shots to fall, and Mount Vernon, the veteran club, took advantage of it and posted in with the win the second half.
The Bulldogs hadn't won it since '92. They fell 2 points short last year against Seattle Prep, but they pull out the victory 65-52 over Rainier Beach to earn a state championship, joining the girls from West Valley of Yakima, who earlier tonight defeated Blanchette by a 39-24 score. We'll be back with more from the Tacoma Dome right after this.